Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of UDS Interviews, our series where I chat to people a lot cooler than myself in this wonderful land of kinda sorta lockdown. I don't think anyone really knows for sure anymore. Anyway, now my guest this week is a band who combine huge riffs with all the anger and energy of 90s grunge with pop hooks that you'll be humming for days. With one of the most impressive debut EPs already under their belts, they're destined for big things very soon. It is my pleasure to introduce Jack Rogers, vocalist of arguably the most handsomest band performing today, Out of Love.
I think I lost my mind. I think I lost my mind. I think I lost my mind. But I can't. I think I lost my mind. I think I lost my mind. I think I lost my mind. But I can't.
I don't know if I agree with that, but hey, what's up?
I speak no lie. I speak no lie. How are you doing in these strange times that we live in?
Yeah, I'm floating through, man. I'm coping, definitely.
I mean, well, that's all we can do is just float.
How are you?
I'm very well. All the better for speaking to you. I mean,
Good. I'm glad.
This is a great Friday morning for me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So for the unfortunate few that may not have heard of you before, could you quickly, what the hell is a plickly? Could you quickly please introduce Out of Love?
Out of Love. How would you like me to introduce it? There's many ways you can introduce something, I guess.
Well, let's start with the abstract. If Out of Love was a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would Out of Love be? I
don't know. I think it would be a surprise one. It would look gross, but I feel like you'd taste it and it'd be the best sandwich you've ever had in your mouth.
They're the best ones. They're best ones.
Yeah, you know those ones at like 2:00 in the morning at a service station. It looks a bit soggy and a bit naff, and then you bite into it and it saves your life. That kind of sandwich.
You are the audible equivalent of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Very
and the
good,
visual equivalent, I'd probably say as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
So obviously we'll get to know you a bit better, but discussing your debut EP, I Am Not Me, which I had to think that for a minute. I was like, am I not me? Anyway, what am I talking about? It's been out for a couple of months now, and for people who haven't checked it out yet, what can they expect from this release?
It's hella short, very catchy, and I think it's the perfect listen for someone in their mid-20s kind of questioning what the fuck's going on. Can I swear, by the way? I don't know if I can swear.
Absolutely.
Okay, wicked. Nice. Just questioning what's going on and what they're doing with their life. So,
I mean, I think that's all of us really, isn't it? I mean,
I feel like I say mid-20s, but I feel like no one ever really knows what they're doing. And
no.
Some people feel like they'll pretend they've got their shit together, but inside they're like a quivering wreck still. So
I think that this whole year has just solidified that you know, it doesn't matter how old or how wizened you are, you still haven't got a Scooby-Doo. And I guess there's kind of like some solidarity in that you're like, but geez, at least it's not just me.
Yeah, but I wish everyone was as open about it, because you speak to some people and they manage to trick you that they've got everything under control and they've got everything figured out, when deep down I think we're all just scared little kids still, and we always will be, I think. Well, that's a nice depressing start to a Friday morning.
I suppose it's how you look at it, though, because obviously, as you say, sort of having like an outlet like Out of Love where you can not just share that, but sort of have this relatable thing that other people can also delve into. I think there is something quite life-affirming about that as well, because it on one hand, it is kind of depressing to be lost in the wilderness of life, to get all wanky about it, but also... As I say, because you're all in it together, it is kind of quite relaxing and kind of let the chaos wash over me kind of way.
Yeah, I think it's strength in numbers, isn't it? So as long as you know other people feel the same way as you, you'll find connections through that way of feeling. And yeah, I think that EP is a good way to put it. It's kind of showing people that nobody's got their like stuff figured out, and even if it looks all glossy and great, it's probably not.
Yep. Especially, you know, in the modern world with social media and everything, people project such a you know, a orchestrated, curated idea of what their life is, and just below the surface, as you say, everyone is just a quivering wreck. So it's nice to have people, you know, that actually are very sort of, you know, open about that. But obviously this EP comes out during, as we said, a very, very strange time in the world's history. How much of it was made during sort of the the lockdown era?
None of the music was, but all the videos and all the content I made from bar the video for Slump, which was shot in December. Everything else was done either on our own, and all the footage and stuff was sent to me, and I'd create it like by myself. Or it was just done via the internet, but all the writing and recording and all that kind of stuff was done in September last year.
Okay, so you've been kind of sitting on it for quite a while between.
Definitely. We hadn't we'd had the songs for about a year, and I wasn't even meant to be the singer. I was playing bass in the band. Dude, it was a long process. We had another guy that we were trying out, and it didn't seem to work. So we were kind of scratching our heads for a bit, and we didn't know what we wanted to do. Sorry. And it got to the point one day I was so sick of trying to find singers or think of singers. I said to Dan, the guitarist in our band, I was like, "Can I just have a go? Like, we know what we want it to sound like. Please, like, let me just try it." And we tried it, and it clicked straight away. And we're like, "Oh, we could have avoided wasting like an entire year." But everything's a learning process, isn't it? So it kind of all those things had to happen until we got to this point. So
that's it. It's one of those things that had it not gone that way, you probably wouldn't be the band you are today. So
definitely not.
That's really interesting. So was being sort of the singer of a band, whether it be out of love or anything else, was that something that you always sort of were aspiring for, or was there sort of a sense of not reluctance, as it were, but sort of like, this is something now I just have to do?
I definitely dabbled before, but I never, I was always just the person that no one else wanted to do it, and I wanted to be in a band. And if no one was going to be a singer, there was no band. So I said, fuck it, I'll just do it and get it over and done with. So I've definitely done it in the past, but nothing to this extent. And I've definitely not sung in a band before. It was always like shouty, shitty hardcore bands. But this is definitely the first time I've opened my mouth and tried to make nice noises. So it's been a learning process for me as well, because I've had to really figure out how to find my own voice. And initially, it's really weird. Like when I first started singing, you try and, not deliberately, but you'll try and sound like the singers you really like. And it's so wrong. And I know, I don't know if lots of other singers have been like that, or lots of other vocalists have been like that, but I was trying to sound like other people. And I was like, well, this isn't like, I don't think this is what I'm meant to sound like. And then it took me a while to figure out how I'm meant to sound. And I think I've got it on lock. I think there's definitely some fine tuning still, but I've got a clearer idea now than I did at the beginning, definitely.
Well, I don't think there's any real sort of, there's anything particularly wrong with that, because the way I see it, whatever you are doing in a sort of a creative field, you are just a product of your own influences. So I think having these sort of bouncing off points that you can sort of be like, okay, this is kind of what I dig, and then I can kind of use that as a starting point and then put my own spin on it. I think that's a real legitimate way of finding your voice, whatever you're doing. But yeah, to be honest, listening to the EP, as I have done for the sort of the past week or so, I'd have no idea this is the first time you've been sort of the vocalist in this style of band. It's like it's super confident vocals. I've really been digging it. So
thank you, man.
That is quite a shock. But I suppose speaking of that as well, is it correct that you were planning your very first shows just as everything shut down? Oh yeah, it was. Do you know what? This is just me and my best friends. This is just our luck. We've always been like so close to something, and then it's never really gone to plan. But I think we've made the best of it, definitely. But yeah, we had our first show in a really shitty little nightclub in our local town. Like it was really a really crappy little room, tiny, probably only held about 40 people. But we had some mates bands play, or we were going to have some mates bands play. We'd had like out of love cocktails were going to be made. It was going to be free. It was going to be like free entry, and anyone could just come down and hang out. And we had lots of things planned like that. We had a couple of bigger shows confirmed for the summer, which obviously got cancelled. But everyone is in the same boat, so it's not really the end of the world. And shows will happen again. It's just a waiting game now. So with that in mind, as you say, you're still waiting for that first show with you as the front man singing. Is there a sense of nervousness sort of presenting it, or have you sort of been prepping of sort of not stage moves, because that sounds really douchey, but just like working out sort of the routine, as it were, of how you're going to perform?
I've got like a big mirror in my room, and I do like dance moves to the songs. I get it all figured out. I am honestly like, I have no idea what to do. I don't know what to do with my hands. That's my biggest fear. Like, that is it In-Betweeners when Will gets really stoned and his arms keep raising up. Like, I'm so scared. I'm just going to be on stage and my hands are just going to like just keep moving. I don't know what to do with them. So I've got a mic stand, and I'm going to try and like, I'll figure it out. But at the moment, I've no idea what to do with my hands. That's the scary part.
Well, I'm not sure if it's an urban legend or not, but they reckon that the reason that Elvis did that twitchy foot thing is because he couldn't get his legs to stop shaking, and so he kind of just worked it into the routine, and everyone just thought it was cool. So maybe just do that. Maybe just sort of whatever happens, and just own it, and then that's just part of your shtick.
Yeah.
So
my arms were meant to be up in the air.
Yeah, well,
it's all part of the
yours?
thing. Yeah, well, exactly.
So what was going to be in an Out of Love cocktail? Because I may have to make one.
It was. I had actually spoke to someone else on a podcast recently about it, because I didn't think that far ahead. I was just like cocktails. I wanted it to be cocktails, and I wanted it to be really bright pink. So we thought maybe pink lemonade, some horrible bright pink like Lucozade. You know those like energy drinks you can get with
yeah.
And then maybe like, I don't know, vodka and tequila together. Something really nasty. But it needed to have like a nuclear glow to it. That's what I wanted. Like something really bright and nasty.
All the best cocktails can be described as nuclear. So
yeah, just a nuclear drink.
But speaking of a veritable smorgasbord of things being thrown together, going back in time a bit, your music video for Slump features you getting absolutely covered in various liquids, foods, and just general ooze and gunge. First of all, can you give any details on what was actually thrown on you during that music video?
So before we shot it in a village hall. Our mate Zach shot it, and it was up near where he lives, near Peterborough. So we just popped to I think we went to like a co-op down the road beforehand, or maybe like a Tesco's or something. And there was everything, man. That we had there was milk with food dye, custard, cream cheese. It was like, looking back on it was a massive waste of food. Probably very irresponsible. Pineapple chunks, like fruit, glitter. We had like a money gun that was shooting money at me. Like balloons filled with stuff. Buckets of water. Literally anything you can think of that you can chuck at a human that isn't gonna like blind me. We probably did it. We had silly string. Yeah, loads of random stuff like that. That's why I had to wear sunglasses, because I was so scared something was going to hit me in the eye. And I also had to. So when we shot it, it was shot double speed, because the video's got that weird like slow motion effect on it.
Yeah.
So we had to shoot it like double speed to slow it down in whatever and make it look good. So I had sunglasses on, my eyes shut, so I wouldn't laugh, and I had one chance of doing all the lyrics because we couldn't reuse the stuff again. And it was going twice as fast. I was like rapping this song with my eyes shut and sunglasses on me, and everything was getting thrown at me, and it was like it was over in like a minute. It was so fast and so intense. And there was one point where the silly string can like gas got in my mouth, and it takes my breath away so much, and you can see me go like and like gasp for air. But that was probably the most fun I've ever had on any sort of video shoot. Definitely.
It's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm imagining the cleanup afterwards probably wasn't as fun.
You'd be surprised. Like, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the camera zooms out and I'm sat in like a kid's paddling pool on a chair. So we caught like most of it in a paddling pool, and then around me we'd put like loads of tarpaulin, and we had the big backdrop that kind of took most of the blow. Like it took away it got most of the hit. And once we like curled all that up and shoved it in a bin bag, and put it in recycling. That's very important. Yeah. The floor wasn't that messy. We did a mop up and we hoovered and stuff, but it wasn't too bad. I was the worst one. I had to go to like the toilets in this village hall and like shower myself in a tiny little sink and change my clothes off. And it was, I was literally, the other day I pulled glitter out of my backpack still from the video
like
shoot.
9 months ago.
Dude, it was insane. There was like, I went back to my friend Zach's house for a bath just because I was so dirty, and I sat in his bath, and it like had a bath bomb in there. It was just filled with glitter and like old bits of food. It was horrible. But yeah, really, it was a really fun day. It was a really, really fun day.
It did look very fun. Fun. So here at UDS, we don't just talk about music. We talk about the breadth of pop culture. So movies, video games, TV shows, anything that's cool, we'll have a chat about it. So with that in mind, if you could have one of your tracks featured in anything at all, what would it be?
Oh man, that's so hard. I would like, I don't know, maybe like a really cool cartoon. I'm big on cartoons. I have a very short attention span. And anything that lasts 20 minutes is probably my like my cut-off point before I'm like, I should probably do something else now. So like maybe like an intro to a really like wacky cartoon would be awesome.
Yeah, like maybe one of the old 90s Nickelodeon, like Ren and Stimpy or
or like Monster. Is it Cat Dog or whatever? Something like that would something like that would be unreal.
That'd be cool.
Or being more adult and grown up and serious, maybe like a I don't know, I say adult and grown up, maybe like a teen comedy or some shit. You know, like back in the day when all the bands were on like American Pie and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. But I don't know. Anything really. I'd just be happy for my music to be on anything. I wouldn't really care where. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's three normal staple answers. There's the actually creative one that people give, like you do. A lot of people have said Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which I would say
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to be that guy that was like,
does that.
Yeah.
And the one that is the proper cop-out, but I do respect in a big way, is like an Avengers Endgame, just for the exposure. But
true.
You've gone for the artistic integrity route. But I have to ask, which cartoons are you spinning at the moment? Like, what ones have kept you occupied during lockdown?
I've never not stopped watching The Simpsons. That will be a staple in my life for the rest of my life. That's like, I love it. But recently I got into Big Mouth on Netflix. I haven't watched that yet, but it does look good. It's very out there, but it definitely entertained me. That was wicked. And I've started watching one. I can't even remember the name of it. It was on Netflix again. It was about some like PE teacher at school.
It rings a bell, the concept.
Yeah, I'm bad with names. But
me too.
But apart from that, Big Mouth and The Simpsons, and maybe if I'm feeling like really bored, like South Park, because that's like the OG. But Simpsons mainly. Simpsons mainly. We actually have a Simpsons podcast. We should get you on at some point if you're down. Dude, I would love nothing more than to talk about The Simpsons for as long as possible. It'd be wicked. Put a pin in that. We will make it happen. 100%. Yeah. Cool. So other than obviously appearing on the nation's favourite Simpsons podcast, Simpsons Showdown, what does the rest of 2020 have in store for you? Well, I'm actually going back in the studio in a couple of weeks. Sweet. So we've managed to write over lockdown between computers and stuff, and meet up a couple of times and track bits and bobs. So we booked some studio time with my friend Sam. So we're going to go to his studio and track another 4 or 5 songs, I think. And apart from that, nothing. I've literally got nothing to do. So yeah, just record some songs and see what happens. That's cool. So can you let slip now? Is it going to be another EP? Is it going to be an album, single? What were you looking to record? We don't know. We just had the songs, so we just want to record them all and sit on them, because I don't think anything's going to come out this year. Sure. I think we'll just sit on them and see what makes sense next year, because we don't know what the world's going to be like. And Sounds good. Maybe some singles or something. We'll see. Very Definitely. Exciting. Yeah. And obviously, no gigs are happening at the moment. But have you got any plans next year for any shows, or is there anything in the pipeline? There's some rescheduled stuff that we didn't even get to announce this year that I think will get rescheduled for next year. But no, we're just playing it by ear, man. We're just kind of taking, like, this whole process. We've just played. There was no real ambition apart from just to write some songs and play them in a room with some friends. So yeah, we're taking everything as it comes, just day by day, and just seeing what comes our way. That's the way to do it. 100%. And as we sort of wrap up the interview, I don't want it to end, but all good things must come to an end. Oh yeah. We are UDS, which stands for Upside Down Shark. No idea to this day why we're Upside Down Shark. It's a name we thought up 3 years ago, and we're in way too deep to change it now. But I love it. Be that as it may. I can't even speak anymore. There's probably good reason we're wrapping this up. What is your favourite shark? It can be real, it can be fictional, it can be something from a movie or something from nature. But what would you say your favourite shark is? I've got 2. I've got Mega Shark, which is, I'm sure everyone said Mega Shark, right? That seems to be like the Mega. Have you not seen from the movie, the one where it grabs the plane out the sky and shit? Yeah. The crappy Sci-Fi Channel one. Yeah. Yeah, the one that's on at like 4:00 in the morning every morning. Hell yeah. The Mega Shark's really fucking cool. And funny you should say this. I went through a shark phase in lockdown where I was just watching bare shark documentaries because there was nothing else to do. And I really like the hammerhead because it just looks gnarly. I mean, there's nothing else like it. And it's practical. No. It's a tool and a shark. Yeah, it's 2 things in one. That's it. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a really cool shark. What's your favourite shark?
Oh, that's a tough one. I really like the Greenland shark because it's the oldest...
The Greenland shark?
It's the oldest living vertebrate in the world. They found some that are alive today that were alive when Henry VIII was alive. They lived
Jesus
for like
Christ.
550 years. They're
What's it called? Sorry, I'm going to Google it. The
Greenland shark, as in the
Greenland.
country.
Okay.
Greenland. Yeah,
fuck.
They look old as well. They just look like nasty old
That looks
sea
like
monsters.
Such a haggard, crusty little shark.
Yeah, you know it's seen some stuff in that 600 years. So
yeah, he's seen a lot of changes.
Yeah, and I respect that. They don't do much other than just sort of bob about in the ocean for like 500 years. If something falls in their mouth, they eat it. That's kind of the life I want to lead. I just want to
Dude, if I could bob around for 500 years and just eat things that fall in my mouth, I would.
That's a life quote that I'm going to take with me to the grave. But anyway, the last serious question I have to ask you is, where can people find you online?
Any social outlet is just at Out of Love Punk. So that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think that's all we have. YouTube and Spotify. Just search Out of Love, same as Apple Music and all that shit.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today.
No worries.
Thank you so much for your
time.
It's been
great. That's okay. Thank you.
Fingers crossed when things are a little bit back to normal, we can do this in person over a beer sometime. Because
100%. That'd be wicked.
It's a day. It's a day. And for anyone listening at home or watching or whatever you're doing, make sure to listen to I Am Not Me or wherever you listen to good music. We'll put a link to everything in the description below, so it's nice and easy. Hit subscribe for more interviews with all sorts of creative folk from around the world, and we shall catch you next time.